The leader that I chose to profile for this presentation is Brad Stevens, the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Brad Stevens was born on October 22nd, 1976 in Zionsville, Indiana. He played point guard for DePaul University from 1995 to 1999. He was named assistant coach at Butler University in 2001, and then in 2007 he was promoted to head coach of the team. He was head coach of Butler from 2007 all the way to 2013, where he led them to 2 consecutive Final Fours, both unfortunately coming up short. In 2013, at the age of just 36, Stevens became head coach of the Boston Celtics, one of the most storied franchises in the history of the NBA. I selected Brad Stevens as my chosen leader because since I'm a Celtics fan, I've been able to witness firsthand how his leadership skills and strategies have greatly benefited the entire organization as well as the team. He is an effective leader due to his ability to bring out the best in all players. He has turned many players who were deemed bench warmers into all-stars. An example of this can be seen with the case of Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was drafted in the second round, the 60th overall selection in 2011, which is the last pick in the draft. He's a 5'9" point guard that had been passed around the league for many years before he finally landed on the Celtics in 2014. In the prior years before 2014, he had only averaged a high of 15 points per game, but on the Celtics under Stevens, he made him the focal point of the offense, and he averaged a career best and season high 29.5 points per game in 2016, ultimately earning all NBA second team honors and leading the Celtics to an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. The company that Brad Stevens works for is the Boston Celtics. They were founded in 1946, and their CEO is Wyc Grousbeck, and they have an NBA record of 17 championships, which is 24% of all NBA championships ever won. Most of these came in the 50s with the teams led by Bill Russell, who has the NBA record for 11 championships for a single player. Stevens led the Celtics to the playoffs in 6 of his first 7 seasons with the team, all except his first season, including 3 trips to the Eastern Conference Finals, and in 2017, he was named head coach of the Eastern Conference All-Star team. This was especially remarkable because when he joined the team, the Celtics on paper were supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league. They were supposed to be a long rebuild before they would ever make it back to the postseason. But with his strong leadership skills and capabilities, he was able to transform that team with a bunch of cast-offs on it into a perennial playoff powerhouse. How Stevens carries out the 4 principal functions of management. Planning. He sets certain milestones for the team and for each player on what they want to achieve for the upcoming season, whether it be a particular player wanting to win a certain award like MVP, or the ultimate goal of the team, which is always to win an NBA championship. Also, Stevens is one of the best at his role in making certain strategies for upcoming games and game planning against the opposing team's best players. Organizing. He chooses how many minutes each player on the team plays every game. This can be a very difficult thing to do with the constant fluctuation of play with NBA players, so managing a rotation is extremely essential to a team's success. Leading. He always gets the most production out of every player, no matter how their career has looked since they joined the team. As I mentioned before with the Isaiah Thomas example, this is basically reflecting of that. Time and time again, people come to the Celtics under Stevens, and it seems as though their career is over. But it seems like his leadership skills and motivation seem to bring out a second wind and ultimately help players to succeed not only on the Celtics but after they leave. controlling. He takes charge if a player is underperforming or if a team as a whole has some sort of internal conflict. I'll begin to discuss the internal conflict of the Celtics that Stevens handled later in this presentation. But, yeah. Yeah, right now, the effective handling of conflict. In 2017, the Celtics traded star player Isaiah Thomas to the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for superstar point guard Kyrie Irving. This seemed like an amazing deal for the team until Kyrie's second season, where he started to become a locker room cancer and disrupted the team's chemistry and growth. The decision was made this past offseason to release Kyrie, and as the season played out, it seemed like the correct choice. He was such a locker room cancer for the team in 2018 because he stunted the growth of two of their best young prospects, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, taking away shots from them and not allowing them to blossom into the players that they are today. A strong leadership situation that sticks out for me under Brad Stevens is in 2018, the Boston Celtics headed into the playoffs as the number 2 seed. However, they were to be without their two best players, Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, for the entire postseason. Coach Brad Stevens had to take on one of the biggest coaching challenges of his young career. With a team led by a rookie as their best player, a second-year best player as their second best player, and many other veterans and cast-offs, they beat the odds and advanced to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, where they would fall to the LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers. This proved to be a career-defining moment, as this established them as one of the best coaches in all of the NBA. It also was critical in helping the development of these young stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, molding them into the players that they are today. My leadership style can be described as a form of a charismatic style. I find that the easiest way to motivate people is through a laid-back attitude rather than a more stressed-out one. I believe this because I feel like if you're not applying so much pressure to someone, they're able to think clearly and produce at their maximum potential. I've had my own personal success in this leadership style, as when I was a senior in high school, I was the captain of my basketball team, and I thought that this style deemed to be most successful than any other tactic I attempted to use. Thank you for listening. These are my sources. Have a good day.